Bienvenidos to Cafecito with Rosie on Air, filmed by Studio 24M in downtown Tampa. Sergio and Andy, you guys rock! And I am so excited to introduce my friend Lisa Demmi. She is an author. She's been a community leader. She is, oh my God, what can I say, entrepreneur? So many things, but more than anything, she has been a great mentor to me. And I love that she has given me the opportunity for you guys to get to know her today. So thank you for being here today, my love.
Looking forward to it.
Good, good. So tell me, who is Lisa?
How much time do we have? So let's see. Let's boil it down. All the things you said. I'm super passionate about human rights, and I'm a professional speaker. I do some coaching and training. I still dabble in social media a little bit. But I think by and large, it's, the state of the world that we're in right now, it's really important for me to be the voice for people who can't be their own voice yet.
Right.
So that's like the crux of everything I do.
Yeah, and I think everything started, and you and I got to, so I have heard about you from before, but when we served at the board of Solita's house, is when we started to work together. And that is one of those things that I tell people, I get to meet amazing people and build these relationships and nurture them with because we haven't seen each other for a while, but it's like we can pick up and get going. But if you say, Rosie, be here, I'm going to be there because it's Lisa. It's the same thing. Yeah. But why do you think, especially here in Tampa, being a voice, getting involved in the community where decisions are being made, why do you think that is important? And as a business owner too.
I think it's important to give back to your community because those are the people who are supporting your business. And I think that we have to listen to those voices. And, for a long time, I didn't have the voice that I have. And someone did that for me. My mom did that for me until I found my own voice. And I think it's really important because a lot of people can't do what we're doing right now. And a lot of people are afraid to raise their hand or say, I'm not going to say anything's wrong. I'll just deal with it. And that doesn't work for me. And it's really important for me that all people have an opportunity, that all people have a voice, that all people get a chance to make the most out of their life. And that's why I do what I do.
And I think the biggest thing is, is the confidence, right? People feel, okay, if I say this is going to rub the wrong way. And to me, it has always been I've been blessed that sometimes I said, it might not be politically correct, but can you help me have the right understanding of these things? And it's because, coming from another country too, learning the culture as it is, and now the culture also shifting. But I want everybody to understand that it's the same. It's just, I just need a little bit of guidance, right? But I think the biggest thing is I have the open mind to say, okay, how do you say that? Or how will I address that?
Right. I think people are afraid to ask questions because they're afraid of the response or the opinion that people are going to have about them if they don't know the answers. And listen, Rosie, I'm not going to say I'm the smartest person on the planet because I know that is not the case.
Right.
And I'm not going to say I'm the most educated person on the planet. But the good thing is that I know people like you, like some of our community leaders, like some of the voices in our area, who I can say, hey, explain this to me. Tell me what I need to know. Show me a different perspective. And I'm not worried about looking good or looking bad. I mean, just this morning I posted something on Facebook, the evil social media. And holy cow, I mean, some people are like, yeah, and some people are like, you're stupid. And, I don't think there's any place for hate. I don't think hate has gotten us very far. And so I just want to make sure that people understand that, if you treat other people like humans, if, not everybody is where you are, we're all in different places. And I think by and large, we all want the best.
Right.
So what if we could have conversations? What if we could speak for the people who don't have a voice yet? What if we could help spread the proper facts and information, which is difficult? And then how different could things be?
Right. And I think the biggest thing too is people do not ask questions to listen and to understand, if not to respond.
Say it again for the people in the back. Yeah.
Right. So people do not ask questions to listen and understand, empathize, right? If not to respond.
Yeah.
And I learned that because, you want to understand where this person is coming from, which you yourself has some biases because of where you're coming from, your upbringing, right? So you have to have your neutral way of, that person didn't have your same upbringing. That person did not have where you come from. So they have a totally different way of thinking.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just, let's see how we can meet in the middle, but understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, totally. I think my family is a great example. I mean, we're always formulating our opinion before the person has even finished saying what they're saying.
Right.
And I think the other thing that is important about listening is not only are you listening because you're giving them the respect of hearing them out, but what can they bring to the table that you weren't even aware of before? Like, if I'm only relying on the things that are in my head, what a narrow viewpoint of the world I'm going to have. And I like to think I have a pretty broad viewpoint.
Right.
But if I'm listening to other people and I'm like, oh man, you know what? I never thought about that. That's a great perspective. That's something I need to look into.
Yeah, I learned so much on that part because like you said, I don't know it all. I commit. We were talking about with Jorge, the guest before you, and it's like, and he talks about real estate, and it's commit first and figure it out later, right? But at this time, you commit, but to figure it out happens when you have those relationships.
Totally.
And where to go and find those things, because I am very blessed that I have many friends with many different knowledge of topics. I don't have to know them all.
Right.
Okay. But I can go and says, hey, this is happening. What's the real, what's the nitty gritty of this, right? I've heard this side. I heard this side. What is the real nitty gritty? And not only to understand also, right? But also repeat. One of the things that I've learned is that this is what I'm understanding.
Yes.
Am I correct or not? And sometimes, and I learned this from my business coach, sometimes the problem is not even what they're telling me. The problem is something deeper that goes in there, or the challenge, or what they're looking to help with.
Yeah.
So you have to go even more deeper into understanding what is that situation. It's about talking and communicating.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, is, understanding where they come from.
When you were talking, there's like an exercise where people will give you a piece of paper and they'll tell you how to fold it. And you can give the same piece of paper to 5 different people, and you've got 5 different pieces of paper that have been folded totally different.
Right.
And it's completely what you just said, because we hear things differently because we're not coming from that perspective. So it's really important to summarize what I think you're saying is, because things get lost in translation.
Yep. Well, tell me a little bit about your book, which I'm so excited about.
Here it is.
Yeah.
I did not have any copies at home, and I couldn't get them fast enough.
But I know the Sergio and Andy we can probably put the book in there.
So my book is called Think Small. It's the small book with big impact, and it's like thinner than this, because I didn't want to write a book to add to people's lists of things that are already not getting done.
Okay.
So it is like literally a 45-minute to 1 hour read. And basically what it does is it's my process for breaking down the goals that you want to achieve, not, any goal, personal goal, business goal, whatever goal it is. And, I'm trying to impart a little bit of humor in it, because I don't want to read another boring book about goal setting. And it talks about, the steps that you need to do to reach your goals. What are some of the ways that you can do to manage the time? I mean, we're all busy. Right. We don't have time to add more stuff to our list. Right. So I talk about that. And then I, try and tell some stories from my own personal experience about how this could work for you. And I didn't write it to get rich.
Right.
I wrote it because it is a companion piece to one of my presentations, which is called Small Magic of Goal Setting. And, I want people to be able to walk away. I truly want people to walk away from the presentation being able to take something with them that will change something in their life for the better.
Right.
That said, you know how when you go into a presentation, you're all hyped up.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, some people take copious notes, but I want people to be present.
Right.
So the book is something that I can say, here you go. Here's what we just talked about.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because you by the time you copy and everything, you forgot the other thing that they already said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and you're not present. And here you want people to be present. Because I think that's one of those things that in everything in business or in the community, because again, even when you lead in a community, now you have all kinds of agendas that you have to freaking.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, that might be not a very, but it's like, okay, not only personalities, but what kind of agenda this, why are you there for, right? But we all have that goal. We want to accomplish something that is going to benefit the company or the entity that we all serving. And there's a lot of passion. But it is dealing with all those.
Well, I mean, even more so when I do the presentation, Rosie, it's, I tell people you can use it for your professional life, but I want them to look at their personal life because we're all so busy. There's so many things that we put aside when we become parents, when we become business owners, when we become, sometimes we have to take care of our parents. Right. And I think a lot of stuff gets pushed to the side and we're like, I'm so busy. I can't do that. I don't have time to do that. I'm not good enough to do that. I could never. And what it is being a reminder to tell you, yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing. We all worry about everybody else and we not put ourselves first, right? And by not putting ourselves first, then all these things that demands from our time eventually becomes tyrants.
Yeah.
Because if you're not putting yourself first, and there's nothing selfish about putting yourself first, is you putting yourself first so you can be the best version of yourself.
Totally.
So people can take, because of the people you love, they see the best version of you, then they can take, they can cohabitate with that person, take advantage of that relationship, right?
Well, not only that though, yes, exactly what you said, but think about this. If you're a happier person because you're getting some personal goals checked off your list, and not even checked off your list, but if you're achieving those goals, imagine how you're going to be for everyone around you.
Yeah.
You're going to be better at taking care of them. You're going to be better in a relationship. You're going to be better at business. You're going to be better in every facet of your life because you're happier, you're more fulfilled. You've got, more than just your job.
Right.
You've got this personal goal that you achieved. And it could be anything as simple as writing a book.
Right.
Or anything as difficult as, climbing Mount Everest. Or something like that. Yeah.
Which, believe it or not, I did have a client that did it.
Yeah. I got a friend who wants to do it too. Yeah.
And I said, if you will have to go back, what will be the one thing that you will do? I said, I will have more time and more experts or the climbing people. But I said, I've never met somebody that did that. But he was 66.
So there's time for me yet.
Yes, there's time for it. Because I always like, in my business, I get to, help people that have made some history, and it's always great to know their back and the backstory of where they come from. One of my first Medicare back in the day was one of the first officials wrestlers. It was called Dino de Bambino.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting this person a Medicare policy. But he was telling me at that time, there was not all the protections that they had, because all these people, they start with not knowing all the damage they can do to your body and stuff like that. Yeah. But another question that I have for you is like, if you can tell an entrepreneur that is probably struggling, thinking is the only person that is going through this, how, and they feel as a failure, what would you tell them?
Listen, up close here, listen. You're not a failure. I was just having this conversation with some friends of mine the other night. We all go through that. Progress isn't this. You guys have all seen progress is, and a friend of mine, he's a speaker, Del Toro McNeil.
Yes.
And Del, Del. Hi, Del.
Yes,
he said something so many years ago that has stuck with me. I've known him for probably 20 years.
Right.
And he said, it's win or learn. You do not lose. Every time you fail, you are learning another way not to do it. And here's the other thing, guys. Fail quick, fail often, because those are the building blocks that you're going to take to getting the success. And we have all been there. And you're not going to just fail once. You're going to get to that level you want, and then you're going to be climbing to that next level, and you're going to fail again so many times to that next level. If you're not failing, you are not stepping out far enough. Yeah.
And it's, again, not giving up, right? Take your passion, take what you're good at. The one thing that you can talk for hours that you don't even need people paying for because you love it so much, that's going to give you that endurance to just continue to go and do it over and over again. And failing your way to the top. That's how people become successful. And we all go through it. We all have our little insecurities. We all fall. And one of the things that I say is, like, when you're in the ground, just kind of hang in there for a little bit. Take a deep breath, look at the sky, look at the moon, whatever it is that's happening at that moment. Then take a deep breath, clean yourself, get up and do it again.
Yeah.
The key here is, if you fall 7 times, that you get up 8.
Right.
Yeah. And you continue to do that.
And it's okay to take a break too. I mean, it's okay. Like, don't feel guilty about it. I mean, I've been there, done, from personal experience, been there, done that. I'm like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this. I'm going to move to the country and live on a farm. And then, I just have to take a break.
Right.
And then you realize why you started in the first place.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And let's talk about this take a break, because, again, if you are very into putting yourself first, you understand what that break's happening. And with Scott, so if you guys don't know, but I love my naps. and I get cranky. When it's time for my nap, I get cranky. So I hear Scott all the time, honey, I think you're ready for a nap. So I see him going to our bedroom. He knows that when I nap, I don't get under the covers. I have to have a blanket because, when you get under the covers, when you go to sleep. But if you take a nap, you just have a blanket on top. So he has the blanket all folded. And then he goes, okay, baby, the bed is ready. So I go, and as soon as I hit the pillow, I'm out for the count. Because, again, and now I realize it used to fight myself from having a nap.
Yeah.
But I actually now love and enjoy my naps. And sometimes they're not 2 or 40 hours. 40 minutes, sometimes out of 4 hours. But it's just my body knows.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't go back to sleep. So that nap kind of catches up with. Yeah. But it's knowing of who you are and what makes you be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, there used to be this, like, it was a badge of honor, like the grind, right? And push and push and push and keep grinding. And now I think people have seen grinding isn't necessarily the best thing for you to do for yourself or your business.
Right.
Because if you're constantly, like, you can make mistakes, you can make bad decisions, you can rush through something that you should have spent more time on. And at my house, we have something that's called the Nappers Club. Okay. And I'm not a full member yet. I haven't been accepted into the organization just yet. But we have Nappers Club meetings. And the Nappers Club meetings are taking naps periodically. Yeah.
So you don't take naps. Well, that's funny because I have to. My
naps are great.
Yes, I do. And I learned that from when I went to Dominican Republic, my first mission trip. And in Dominican Republic, from 12 to 2, nobody works. Nobody works. And it's like everybody goes to have their lunch and then they go take their siesta. And same thing is in Spain and Europe and things like that. So culturally, and that actually helps you function better.
Yeah.
But one thing that you mentioned, and it's about, the grind. But people take the grind, but the grind sometimes is not being focused. And by not being focused, you're not being productive.
Right.
And then you're busy, but you're not making any money.
Right.
Right. And then you say, but I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm doing. But you're not focused.
Yeah.
Right. And now I think the way business have developed to is like you can work less hours, being more focused, and make more money and still have a life.
Yeah.
Right? And still be able to enjoy your family and your outings and your vacations.
Yeah.
Because if you are, like, I think that is one of those things that people, they get desperate when at the very beginning of their business, they're not making any money, that they try something else.
Right.
And then they try
They
something
don't stick
else.
to it long enough.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, it's that whole thing of busy versus productive. People like to say they're busy, but really what they want to, well, my opinion is that I would prefer to say I had a productive day, not a busy day.
Right, right. A productive day. Yeah. So again, tell me about your little dogs and your family. How are they doing?
So my dogs are great. I have 3 dogs, and they are my coworkers, and they don't really do anything, but they do provide my breaks with some fun. I usually will get away from my computer and I'll go outside with the dogs and play around a little bit. My wife is doing great. We sold our business at the end of last year.
Okay.
So she is looking forward to slowing down a little bit. And, we love being here in Florida and Tampa with my family is all here and her family. And, the other day when I was talking to my friends, we're like, we don't really have anything to complain about.
Right.
My life is good. I have great friends and family here. My job is something that I love. Our life is full and enriching. We have a great house. We love our neighbors. I mean, could I find something to complain about? Yeah, we all could.
Right.
But the truth is I think the way you talk and the words that you use, those infect or affect the way your day goes. If you wake up in the morning, and I've had these mornings before where you get up and you stub your toe and you spill coffee on your shirt and you're running late, it's like you could already say that my day is ruined.
Right.
But if you say, oh, well, I stubbed my foot, I'll change my shirt, I'll call my company or my appointment, let them know I'm so sorry I'm running late. It's not the end of the world. Right. And I think that we are in a place right now where we talk so, like the self-talk, the negative self-talk sometimes I think is not good.
Right.
And I think we have to remember how to talk to ourselves and how to talk to other people because words hurt.
Right. Exactly. Well, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for being here. So where can people find you?
Oh my gosh, I'm all over social media. So I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on TikTok.
Under Lisa.
So go to my website, which is lisademmi.com, DEMMI.com, and you can find pretty much everything there. And listen, y'all, I answer any messages. If you reach out to me on LinkedIn and say you saw me on Rosie's show, I'm going to know who you are and what you heard about me already. And I would love to talk to more people. I love helping people. If I didn't have to pay bills, I'd do it for free. But, I got to pay bills. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's been so great.
This is the type of friends and mentors I have, and the reason why I love to have this show, because they're amazing individuals that they're making an amazing things in our community. So stay pure, stay positive, and stay inspired, my friends. Ciao.